Good morning, and welcome to another episode of SmartFox News.
The largest indigenous-owned solar farm located in northern Alberta community of Fort Chippewyans have 5,760 solar panels that contribute to 25% of the community's power demand. The Three Nations Energy, or 3NE, are building the opportunity for their tradespeople, workers, and contractors to participate in the emerging green energy sector, helping the climate and decreasing the reliance on diesel fuel, supplying 3,000 megawatt hours of solar electricity. The Tuesday, at a COVID-limited celebration of the completion of the project's second and final phase, they stated, "We work with the sun, we work with the wind, we work with Mother Nature, and we work with the water for the children of the future to give them a better life, a cleaner life." The renewable energy it generates will be equivalent to about 800,000 liters of diesel. The state and federal government helped contribute to the $7.6 million project, which is also the world's most remote solar farm. Yesterday morning, a beaver full moon with the lunar eclipse happened. In November, the full moon, known as the beaver moon, which the Native Americans associated to the time when the beavers are scrambling to finish building their dens from mud and sticks and rocks in preparation for winter. It occurred at the same time that the last penumbral eclipse of the year. Check out some of these photos shared on social media around the world. That's all with SmartFox News.
Hello everyone, it's time for some wintertime random trivia. So the world's tallest snowman, or snow woman, was actually built in 2008 in the city of Bethel, Maine. How tall was this snowman, or snow woman? Was it 80 feet tall, 100 feet tall, about 120 feet tall, or about 200 feet tall? The answer's coming up in just a moment.
So, good morning, everyone. This morning we have Anthony Kimata joining us from Riverside, California. He is a DP, a director of photography, and works with artists ranging from Drake to Daddy Yankee. So, with that said, how are you doing this morning, Anthony?
Hey there, doing very, very good. Thanks for the nice intro. I appreciate that. Thank you.
No worries. So how long have you been doing what you're doing?
In total about 11 years, but professionally, I'd say somewhere around 7 years doing it.
Okay, and that's a very long time. So if you can sum up your experience into one word or even like a few words, what would it be? What would they be?
Enjoying life.
That's perfect. So Kim, this interview is regarding the choices we make in relations to our professional outcomes or even cultivating our talents into our dream professions. So with that said, can we start with what you were doing before you got into the music industry and how you got into it, or the creative arts?
Yeah, for sure. So I was in the medical field. I was doing nursing initially. It was like a big family career. Everybody in the family does it, almost that or mechanics. And so about maybe 2 or 3 years into the school aspect of it, and I picked up a camera and actually really enjoyed image making. I actually enjoyed creating imagery and just visual arts and performing arts since I was a kid. But I actually picked up a camera now and I was really enjoying it. People were like, "Hey, yeah, could you take our photos? We'll actually pay you at some point." Maybe a year or so into picking up the camera. And I'm like, cool. And then I started realizing you can actually make a career out of it, or make money out of it, not a career, but make money out of it. And I started looking at avenues to make more money, and that kind of took away from, my passion. I actually enjoyed nursing, but took away from that which when the incomes kind of equalized almost, I switched into permanently into cinematography.
Okay, and it's not so when you said kind of took away from your passion of nursing, it's maybe not that it took away from it necessarily. Correct me if I'm wrong, but more so you developed new passions that were stronger.
I wouldn't say actually. You only have so much energy in terms of like it's finite. The amount of time you have and the amount of energy you have is finite. So if you're not spending 4 hours a day doing X and you're doing Y, that means you're taking away from X.
Okay, I see. Thank you for clarifying. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. And when I do think about nursing, you kind of like touched up on this a little bit while you were speaking. When I think about nursing, I think it's a career that would leave a person financially stable outside of the passions that the person may have in regards to helping people. But when I think about taking a leap into the creative arts, for what you do especially, I can't imagine it being a very stable career. So did you feel that was the case for you? And, if so, like, how did you overcome it?
Yeah, it's definitely not a stable career. You don't know where your next paycheck is coming from, but you don't necessarily do it for the paycheck. For me, as an artist, I created art for myself. I don't necessarily do it for anyone else. And then people would look at it and say, hey, I really like that. Can I buy it? Kind of situation. Or in context. So that said, you're depending on people to like your work for them to hire you, which means that's very unstable. Other careers, people have to, we have to eat, so we have to go get food. We have to, if we're sick, need help, we have to get health care. Your car breaks down, you have to go see a mechanic. You don't walk by a painting and say, oh, I have to buy that. It's like, oh, I really like that. I want it in my living room. Can I get it? Okay, then you have the negotiation of that. So it's definitely a very subjective and not stable career, and continues to be. So if you're trying to dive into anything with the creative arts, the first thing you have to ask yourself is, do you actually want to do it for yourself, and not for anyone else?
Welcome back to Random Trivia Winter Edition. And now for the answer. So if you guessed the snow person was about 80 feet tall, that's not correct. And if you guessed about 100 feet tall, also incorrect. If you thought about 200 feet tall, it's a little too much. The actual height was about 120 feet. That is a giant snow person. I'm Chris Yates, and thanks for watching Random Trivia.
Thanks for watching SmartFox TV. I'm Chris Yates.
I'm Kim. I'm Sally.
I'm Tracy.
Until next time, stay foxy.
Stay foxy.
Let me show you something.